next fight of the evening is in the Tuff-N-Uff Bantamweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner with a record of 1 win and 3 losses. Fighting out of Syndicate MMA, Las Vegas, Nevada, Bryce. His opponent stands across the cage in the red corner with a record of 1 win and 1 loss. Fighting out of Taurus MMA, Las Vegas, Nevada, Jimmy Stevenson. Referee in charge of the action inside the cage is Frank Trigg.
3 2-minute rounds is our format in this amateur bout. Bryce Lee Kim is wearing the gray and the orange trunks. James Stevenson is wearing the black and the gray, and we are underway.
Both fighters showing respect early on in this fight.
And Kim shoots for the takedown. Unable to get a nice sprawl from Stevenson. Stevenson did list his fighting style as wrestling, so a little peculiar that Kim would instantly shoot in and try for the takedown, but maybe he wanted to test that merit and see if Jimmy Stevenson did in fact have the pedigree in the wrestling department, and so far it appears he does.
And Stevenson looking very, very relaxed here at this current moment. Kim trying to stand up. Nice knee there by Stevenson. You're not going to finish somebody with that, but that's sure going to hurt tomorrow.
Looking for the guillotine, almost has a standing guillotine here. The arm is in, though, so it's going to be difficult to complete.
You don't see standing guillotines finished too often, but they do happen. Still going back and working those knees to the thighs of Kim, trying to just wear him down. You know, I mean, this is a 3-round fight. That could be taking away some of the power away from Kim, taking away a little bit of his speed. Still looking very relaxed to Stevenson.
Kim pops his head out. Once again, shoots in. Almost appears, again, like he was going for the takedown, and he gets reversed.
Good upper body strength showed there by Stevenson.
Yeah, Stevenson doing a nice job controlling this fight. When they do lock up, he appears to be the one that's getting the better of the exchanges. He's trying to sneak that knee over right now and get into kind of a seated mount position. He's got him pushed up against the cage right in front of our broadcast table. But Stevenson so far here in round number 1, the clearly dominant fighter.
Looking to take Kim's back.
Yeah, he's got the back. He's only got about 10 seconds left.
He lets it go. I think he wanted to do some damage. Knew he wasn't going to be able to finish that choke. Ooh, might have been a mistake, though, to let that go. I still think he ends up taking that round, but ends up getting clipped right there at the end, where he clearly was dominating in position. I think he had more than 10 seconds left, he would have continued to try to finish for that choke that he was working on.
Yeah, and interestingly, as I saw them exchanging words in the corner, the first thing that Tom Lawler said to Bryce Lee Kim was, calm down.
Yep.
Because he popped up, and in that final exchange, he did land a solid punch, but then he ran over and he was kind of showboating to the crowd a little bit.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he lost that first round.
Absolutely.
He's got to reset a little bit. He's got to consider how he is going to win rounds 2 and 3 if he's going to win this fight. He's got to figure out that maybe shooting him for the takedown is not the right move for him. He did have success in the striking exchanges when there was distance, but he needs to be the one that is not closing the distance. He's got to be the one throwing the punches.
Kim does seem to have the speed advantage in this fight, but he hasn't been able to use that to his advantage yet.
And mostly because of his own actions.
Yes.
We'll see if that changes as we get into round number 2. Frank Trigg has the fighters set to go, and we are set. 2 more minutes on the clock. Round number 2 is underway. Bryce Lee Kim is wearing the gray and the orange. Jimmy Stevenson is wearing the black and the gray. Head kick there from Kim. Just glances off the head of Stevenson. Outside leg kick does land. Stevenson looking for a takedown now. Kim doing a nice job reversing that. Now Kim in top position.
We haven't seen Stevenson from his back yet in this fight. You know, curious to see how he handles this. Doing a good job of keeping Kim close to the body, not letting him posture up and rain down any damage upon him.
And that's an important part of being effective as a ground fighter from the bottom position. If you let your opponent posture up, they've just got gravity on their side.
Yep.
And they can rain down those punches. But you see how that arm is strung over the neck of Bryce Lee Kim? That's to keep his head down, so all he can really do is exactly what he's doing right now.
Yep.
Now he does pop his leg out. He gets the full mount. This is going to be more difficult for James Stevenson to control the posture of Bryce Lee Kim, but he's still doing a nice job of it.
Curious to see how Stevenson reacts here. When Kim postures up, that's when he needs to just buck him off, because that's when Kim's going to be his most unstable.
Yeah, the vulnerable moment, you're exactly right, when he is most unstable, will be when Kim postures up, but it's a bit of a chess match. Stevenson trying to sweep, ends up giving up his back. Kim doing a nice job transitioning there. He's got the back. He's throwing a lot of punches, and they're landing.
They're hitting a couple of those hit the arms of Stevenson right there, but Kim being very aggressive, scoring points in the judge's eyes, certainly from this dominant position, having Stevenson's back. He is just nonstop throwing punches. Are those going to finish him? No, probably not. But is it scoring points?
And they will soften him up, which is what he's trying to do, so he can try to sneak that arm underneath that chin and get that submission.
I'll say this much. I'm very impressed with how calm Stevenson has been through this entire fight. Even when he's in this dire position right here, still seems very calm.
Oh boy. Okay, so the arm is not underneath the chin. It was on the chin. It was more of a crossface.
Yeah.
End of round number 2. Very uncomfortable spot, but man, I'll tell you what, Bryce Lee Kim listened to the advice of his corner, Tom Lawler and John Wood on that one, and it worked. Very, very good round for Bryce Lee Kim. On our unofficial scorecards, which also happen to always be right.
Always.
Because that's how we saw the fight. We have it one apiece.
Yes.
So James Stevenson took round number 1. Bryce Lee Kim dominated round number 2. Who will take the third and final round of this fight? Again, according to our unofficial scorecards, that will determine the outcome.
That was a great round for Kim. You know, he, like we said, he used his speed to his advantage right there, and was able to just dominate Stevenson throughout that entire round. Both these guys, you know, taking some deep breaths in the corner, you know, some in and out right there from Kim, but still got a smile on his face. John Woods coaching him right there. Whoever wins this round wins this fight.
Third and final round. The bantamweight fighters are set to go. Here inside the Tuff-N-Uff cage of the Cannery, referee Frank Trigg making final adjustments right now on your screen. You say Jimmy Stevenson, he had a great first round. Bryce Lee Kim, he had a great second round. Bryce Lee Kim made some adjustments in the second round that afforded him, there you see him pacing back and forth. He appears to have plenty of gas left in the tank. James Stevenson, does he as well? He appears to be a little more gassed right now, but the time to find out is right now. 2 more minutes on the clock. Bryce Lee Kim has got the orange trim on his trunks. James Stevenson is in the black and the gray. Yeah, Stevenson doing a nice job of kind of pinning Kim back into the corner right there so that we can close that distance. When the striking exchanges have happened in this fight, they have favored Bryce Lee Kim.
Kim looked for a hip toss right there, which was reversed by Stevenson. Stevenson almost looking for like a body slam there, was reaching inside the inner thigh of...
was thinking about trying to elevate Kim, but Kim does a nice job of reversing it. Now he's got Stevenson up against the cage. If I were Kim in this spot, I would just separate and create some distance, but it looks like he's pretty determined to try to get that takedown. He's trying to scoop that single leg right now. Yeah, Frank Trigg is going to separate them, create some distance, and Kim complains a little bit. I actually think that did a favor for Bryce Lee Kim.
Yeah, I mean, this is a 2-minute fight. You know, Trigg, being a professional fighter, knows the inside of this cage as well as anyone. You know, I don't have any issue with there. Huge hip toss by Kim, but he ends up on the wrong end of it.
Just another unfortunate landing. We've seen that a couple of times tonight. Now James Stevenson has that crossface on Kim. Not going to finish the fight from here, but very uncomfortable, and he just kind of gives up on it, which is surprising. About 40 seconds left in this fight. And Kim, again, shooting for the takedown and ends up in a bad position. Beautiful sprawl by Stevenson. He's almost got the back right now.
Trying to hit that switch and take the back, man. Doing a good job. I mean, Stevenson's in the dominant position right now, even though he's not landing anything. This is scoring for the judges.
Yeah, this is a tough round to score because not a lot of action is actually happening here.
There was that big hip toss, but Stevenson still came out on top.
Final 10 seconds.
Stevenson's controlling kind of where the fight is taking place right now. It's hard to say.
That's it. It's the end of the round. It's the end of the bout.
If I had to snap call right now, gun to the head, I give it to Stevenson. I think Stevenson controlled more of that fight. You know, there was that big hip toss, but it didn't really cause any damage, and the hip toss kind of worked against Kim. You know, if you hip toss somebody and you come out on top, yes, that scores points, but if you hip toss somebody and then you lose your back to them and you're in a position where you could be submitted, It's hard to score that. It's almost negated, but in my opinion.
I totally respect where you're coming from on that. I'm actually going to swing the other direction. The reason why is because Kim was the aggressor in that third round. Even though he ended up in that bad position, Stevenson didn't really do anything to capitalize on it when he did have the back of Kim. And Kim was the one that was pressing the action. Kim was the one that was trying for the takedown. And Kim did, in fact, get the hip toss that brought his opponent to the ground. He didn't end up in a favorable position, but almost no damage was done by Stevenson.
Well, I think that's pretty, split decision there. Not surprised. It doesn't surprise me. I think the judges, in my opinion, they got it right. Close fight.